Let me know if you can hear me, please. It's great to have you all. Today, we're going to talk about spot cleaning and stain removal. And yes, this is for bridal formal wear. Excuse me. Any kind of fancy stuff or dresses, but you could also use it for regular laundry. But I feel like people are more concerned about bridal or formal and spot cleaning. So I was going to show you the tools that we use and the cleansers that we use. And these are the two most common for spot cleaning, actually. Hello, Stacy. Can you hear me okay, hon? Let's see. There's also this. I don't use this much, but I've heard great things about it. So it's good to have in my arsenal. But this right here, oh my goodness, worth its weight in gold. Dreft laundry stain remover. Now you get this in like the nursery section of your big box store. Obviously, you can also just get it online or whatever, but this stuff is amazing. I know everybody likes to talk about OxyClean. OxyClean to me is great for like grass stains, but it's kind of thick, you know? So this is a little thinner. So it's just a lot easier to avoid having spots. And then I have one other cleanser. Everybody always asks about this, and I'm trying to find it. Can you tell I've stepped away into the other room? Ah, finally, I've been looking all over for it. This right here, Lifesaver, okay? It's called Eliminink, and it's actually an ink remover, but I'm going to tell you what the big secret is as far as the formulation and how it works and how it saves our tails and saves people's wedding days all day long. So we're going to talk about that. The dress that I'm going to show you on today has body odor, like sweat stains on the it's not pits because it's got that V side to it, but it's the binding that goes up along the front of the armhole on this dress and the back. So we got to get the body odor out of that and the sweat stains. So we're going to do that. And it also has makeup stains. So we're going to work on that. Hello to everybody. It's so great to see so many hopping on today. This video is worth its weight in gold. So I'm going into spot cleaning and stain removal, okay? So don't forget, if you really want to take a deep dive and maybe even have a second form of income, I do offer a course on gown cleaning and box preservation. It's a certification course. Man, does it make a big difference in my bottom line. It's super easy to add to your operation, doesn't require a bunch of special equipment or anything like that. So if you're interested, just go to bridalsewing.com, and on that homepage you'll see links to everything that I offer. But that's one of my big offerings is the cleaning and boxing course. All right, so let's look at the stain that we are facing today. She's right here. Let me get you down just a smidge lower. And you can tell I'm here at my iron. I do like to have my spot cleaning going on near the iron because that makes it so much easier to Jane, that's sweet. Love your new logo, even if I wanted the avatar. Thank you, hon. That's sweet. I do like both of them. I really didn't have a clear winner on that. So yeah. Um, all right, so I think you guys are gonna be able to see that. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lift this up just a little bit with a ham. Now, you don't want to get your ham wet, right? This is your Taylor's pressing ham. Definitely do not want to get it wet, but it does give us a little lift when we need it. So I'm going to do ham, okay, followed by You can put some muslin under there or a towel to catch all the moisture. Um, because if your ham gets wet, you're going to have all sorts of trouble, aren't you? The whole way that it works is through its dryness. So I'm just going to do like this. So I'm going to do thicker where it's going to get mostly wet, and then a couple of washcloths. Plus these are white, so that helps. Got that stacked up. You can also just put something else under there that's shaped how you need. All right, so I'm gonna start with a makeup stain. This is the way I want you to think about the stains, okay? Is it a natural stain like dirt or grass? I'm grabbing this, okay? Is it a body stain like BO or blood? I'm grabbing this. This has enzymes specifically formulated for that. Think about little babies spitting up. All the little bodily things that go on with them, okay? That's why this is so great. Also notice I'm only using clear formulas. We don't use blue formulas. I had a bride one time accuse me of turning her dress blue. She was actually just a gold digger. It wasn't legit. But yeah, I'm like, no, yeah, we don't, we're not here doing Tide, honey. All right, so this secret spot remover is also clear, but again, I don't use it very much. I just wanted to mention it because a lot of people really like this, and I like the portability of it. So I feel like this is good for an emergency kit. So I'm gonna set that aside. It is a multi-purpose. It's a multi-purpose cleanup. You can see the label there. It even says rust. Okay, so it's a multi-purpose cleaner, but we're not going to focus on that today. I like to help people have an understanding of the different cleaners and how to target your specific stain with the right cleaner. Okay, so for makeup or anything oil-based, this would be ink pens, Sharpies, or makeup. They're all oil-based. I start with an oil-based stain remover, okay? So like defeats like, right? So we're going to put a little spot of this on here. You can't stop with that or you are going to have a grease stain. I literally just put a grease stain on this dress. That's what that is. That is a very greasy spot. I'm going to let it sit there for a minute, and then I'm going to show you some of the other tools that we use to get things clean. All right, so I have a wet white washcloth. It's just wet with water. Cool is fine. I have a bone. If you're trying to get spots out, make sure you have a bone. You search this under bone spotter. Every time I talk about the bone and how important it is for spot removal, people get back with me and they're like, but what is it? And I'm like, it is bone. And they're like, but what is bone? And I'm like, okay, the things that keep you from like turning into a blob of jello and being a pile in the floor, those are bones. This is bone. That when you eat a chicken leg, this is what you leave on the table. I promise you it is B-O-N-E, bone. Okay, so it's called a spotting bone. Sometimes on Amazon you'll find it a little bit better with like carpet spotters, that kind of thing. I know, Jane, it's so funny. Like people have like a mental block about it. I promise you, if you guys understand that I'm talking about a bone, put bone in the chat, B-O-N-E. Nobody DM me later and be like, well, now what is it made of? I promise you. So, if you guys ever need any of the things that I use, don't forget you can go to bridalsewing.com and I have a products page that has Amazon links. So as you know, they expire, they put new listings and old listings and whatever. So if you click on something, it's not there anymore, that's okay. It just lets you know what to search. So you can buy this on Amazon And yes, it is a bone, okay? So what we've done is we've let this soak, and we're just gonna kind of rub it in a little bit with the tip of the bone. And you're gonna see the boundaries. That's hilarious, Stacy. I have an actual piece of bone from my kitchen that I've used for years. You have a piece of what? What? But where is it? Where did you get that? What's it actually made of, Stacy? All right, so you can see these boundaries are getting so fuzzy, which is exactly what we want. This is foundation, guys. And as you know, makeup is made of different stuff nowadays. It's made to last a lot longer than what we saw back in the day. So you definitely need this oil-based remover. So I'm just still fuzzing out those boundaries, and it's almost completely gone. All right, so when I'm done, I go ahead and wipe off whatever cleanser I'm using. Yeah, Stacy, please let Jane know what this is. All right, so now I'm just gonna take my cloth and I'm gonna scrub a little bit, just good old-fashioned elbow grease, as they used to say. And this a lot of times will be more effective if you put all your cloths and stuff under the top layer that's stained instead of scrubbing through all the layers and getting them all wet and stuff. All right, so we've got this. It's pretty much gone, but we're going to have an oil ring right there if we leave it. So the key to spot cleaning is you start with a little bitty spot and you want to make a big spot. Just kind of like just let it kind of smooth out a little bit. Feather out is what we're going to be going for. You're going to hear a lot of that feathering, okay? So now we need to get the oil out of this, right? And I'm going to remove that actually with Dreft just because it's so thin and light. You can see how light that is. I'm not going to put anything heavy on it like the OxyClean. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of scrub. I'm going to go back and forth. You can do circular. You can go with the grain both different ways. Doesn't matter. If you've got multiple layers of fabric under here, sometimes the suds get caught between the layers and then you've got a whole nother problem. All right, so I've kind of rubbed that in, and the idea is to be lifting out the oil, okay? So this cloth is starting to pick up all that oil, all that makeup, and hopefully all that draft. So it smells like draft. I'm gonna go rinse it out, okay? Come right back. Don't forget, we're also doing armpits after this because it's a different kind of stain. All right, so I just rinsed that in cold water and got all the cleansers out of it. All right, and so this is going to be a generously damp cloth, okay? I just barely wrung it out. I didn't try to get all the moisture out of it. But this is kind of like your rinse cycle. We're trying to finish getting all that out. And you can see now our boundary is quite wide. At this point, you can also be applying some heat to help it to dry faster. And then you can also be feathering the edge. That's going to be very important. If you have like a shiny dress, you're going to be really feathering the edge, iron it to heat it, to dry it. You might even have to change the cloths that are under it to help it to dry faster. So one other tool I wanted to talk with you guys about, I got this at Lowe's, I think. You can probably get it at Lowe's, Home Depot, but it's basically a grout scrubber. It's made by Rubbermaid, and it has a couple of different shaped heads. This is great when you have a strong fabric, okay? So like this is like a poly crepe. And if you have like a dirty hem edge, really dirty, okay? That's when you're gonna be spraying like your OxyClean on there. And this head is going to be doing all the work for you. Yes, it's like a toothbrush. Obviously, I'm demoing because I don't have all that cleanser and stuff on there, and this isn't super dirty. But yeah, so all you got to do is move it along, and the spinner will be doing all the work for you. This helps a lot. So don't forget my cleaning and boxing course that's available, bridalsewing.com. Includes a certification, but it goes into hours and hours of this instruction, guys. All different fabric types, how to identify your fabrics. So don't forget that. All right, so we're gonna move away from this. This is gone, okay? So this foundation stain that could have saved somebody 1,000 or two on their dress because the shop thought it was ruined, it's already gone. So it's great to be kind of rescuing these dresses, isn't it? All right, let's move on to the underarm stain. We see a lot of that. And here I can actually see where some of the foundation pushed through. All right, so this dress, she's got some stinky bits. The dress has some stinky bits. So you can see the yellowing here, like compared to that, right? The best thing to do, honestly, for BO is, yeah, go ahead and spot clean really well. But the best thing is also going to be to go ahead and wash the dress completely afterward. BO, as you know, is just very, very stubborn. And you think you got it all out, but the test is if you go back after it dries and you iron it or steam it again, that heat that comes off, it activates that bacteria, and oh my goodness, it can be so stinky. So, all right, so I've really saturated that, and I'm grabbing my what? Tell me in the chat if you know what this is. I'm grabbing this. Now, why do we need to use this instead of just like a toothbrush or a piece of wood or a butter knife? I used to use a butter knife when I was a kid, actually. It really can work if you lay a stained piece of fabric on top of the washing machine, like up against the metal, put your stain remover on it and scrub it with a butter knife. It really does help push the stain out, but this is a little bit more professional. So why? Why are we using this? Good job, Lori. Bone. Jane, is that a bone? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, so the reason why we want to use the bone is because it's so neutral. It is not reactive, and there's nothing about it that's going to snag or that's too sharp that's going to cause any issue. So you're going for that neutrality is what you're going for. So I've really kind of pushed in that OxyClean there. And let's see, let me get my cloth. Again, this is more of like helping to scrub a little bit. Right now, I'm going to be sensitive not to the strength of this crepe binding, but I'm going to be sensitive to the fragility or the delicate nature of this mesh net and this net here. You can rip this net so easily. So I'm making sure that I'm really feeling the pressure of my finger against the binding. I'm not getting crazy with my boundaries here and upsetting those other fabrics. So I'm also coming in, cleaning the back. And then we're going to do the same thing. This is still a little bit sudsy. I'm going to rinse my cloth again. Just because we don't want to be like moving around the dirt and the soap, right? We want that to come off. Rinse it. Rinse it really well. And honestly, it's ready probably for this cloth to be retired and start with a fresh one. So I wouldn't just lay, after I clean this dress, I wouldn't just lay this cloth to dry to be used again. Nope. It needs to be like thrown in the wash. All right, so now is kind of our rinse cycle, right? We're trying to get all that OxyClean out. And let's come over here and do this little spot right here. Also remember, Dreft is great for body issues, body stinkies, body stains. So we could just as easily be doing Dreft right now, couldn't we? Definitely, if this was a fabric that was a little more unforgiving and would spot easily, I would have reached for the Dreft rather than the OxyClean. That's just kind of how I make that decision. In the gown cleaning and boxing course, it has like flow charts for you, like visuals. It's so funny. I had this girl work for me years ago, and she would do, she was kind of like a hostess, assistant kind of thing, and she would do intake, and she was a smart girl. But I was just like, why? Why does she always have to call me and ask me the same questions? Like, I didn't understand what the block was. Like, why can she not learn about like what dress needs what kind of cleaning, like how to charge the people? Like, it's not that big of a deal. And so I was like, you know what? I'll make her a flow chart. That's what I'll do. Okay, so this side I'm going to use Dreft now, guys. I'm like, I'm going to make her a flow chart so that way she doesn't have to keep calling me. So I did this flow chart and I was like, oh my gosh. It was so much more complicated than I realized. It was like, no wonder the poor child couldn't remember. I thought it was simple, but you know how it is, as you stack your learning over time, you can understand very complicated concepts and you don't even get that they're complicated anymore because you're not exposed to it all at once. So I learned over time. But yeah, the flow charts, they help so much when you're learning. Yeah, so this dress is just so yellow at the underarms. So I'm going to flip her and scrub her both ways here. This dress is entirely synthetic. So when I'm done with this spot cleaning, this bride did not pay for all over gown cleaning. But I am going to do a total dip rinse on this dress just to get all the extra out of here because it's so heavily stained in the underarms. I think it's going to help a lot to do that. Do any of you guys have any questions about cleaning gowns? Now, this is not going into silk. My course definitely goes into silk. It's a whole separate section. But this dress is definitely all synthetic. And I'll tell you, 99% of the dresses that you see now for bridesmaids, prom, wedding dresses, 99% of them are not really made with natural fabrics. They're made with synthetics. So most of them are safe. It's good to be able to tell the difference, but most of the time you can do this. And so some people, what they do is they just say, yeah, if the fabric content is synthetic, I can spot clean it for you. That's a real cut and dry way of doing it. So you don't have to send clients or relatives to the dry cleaners for every little thing. All right, so I am getting ready to check the questions if you guys have any. I've got one last little segment on here to do. I have a video coming out, guys. It's coming out tomorrow. I can't wait for you to see it. I've been working on it literally for months. It's not that long either. It's only like 8 minutes long. But it is reviewing 1-star fabric stores. Like stores that have gotten, like sewing shops or fabric shops that have gotten really scathing or odd or impressive number of 1-star reviews. I went and I reviewed them. I just went in and checked it myself because you know, sometimes people, they're keyboard warriors and it's really not that bad. So, in light of us not having Joanne anymore, Joanne Fabric and Crafts, I said, well, we got to help these mom and pop stores out. So I traveled for that video, guys. It took days of filming, traveling, hotel, all this. It took me an entire day just to, at work, just to organize the footage, um, screenshots, all that. And yeah, so it's a lot that goes into it just for an 8-minute video, but it is so entertaining and insightful. I think you're gonna love it. So you guys look out for that. I'm probably gonna upload it unlisted this afternoon and I'll schedule it to go live. I'll, you know, be revealed to the public. I'll schedule it to go public probably 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So, yeah, Thursday. Remember, that's going to be my new upload schedule. Instead of waiting until the new year, we're doing Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern for vertical live streams. Thursday is our long form upload day. And then I'm also throwing some shorts in there. So, anyhow, that's how we cleaned it. Let me check your questions. Let's see. Use bamboo cloths? Jane, are you meaning for scrubbing? Like instead of the cotton washcloths? Is that what you mean? Stacy, I love Eucalan as well. You can order it online, Jane. Let's see. TG, a friend of mine asked if you can clean a wedding dress with embellishments or crystals at home, or is it easier to take the cleaners? Yeah, if it is synthetic, yep, you can put it in. If you have like one of the washing machines that don't have the agitator in the middle, like if it's a front load or if it's a top load with no agitator, the what do they call those? The high efficiency or whatever. They have longer wash times but less agitation. You can put it in the washer. If you, this is again, if it's all synthetic, okay, which the tag will tell you. And if you don't have that, you can do it in the bathtub. Just clean your bathtub real good and do that, or a laundry washing sink. Yeah, so you're probably not going to hurt it. And then you're just going to drip dry and then steam all the wrinkles out when you're done. Sometimes you may need to like reshape a little bit. None of that's a big deal. You just have your hams. Now, this is my Franken ham. I'm sure you guys have seen, this is the traditional basic ham, okay? Is this shape, named after the shape of a ham that you would fix for dinner or Christmas, right? So there's that. And then they also have them that are shaped like almost like a bust cup. It's just a dome, and you can set the dress bust cup over it to press to get the shape, right? And then they also have the sleeve hams. That would be like this. You put in the sleeve. This one is my own bust ham that I made. I just took like a store-bought ham, a Dritz. This is back when you can tell it's still sawdust in there, so that's nice. It's not like polyfill or anything. And then I took a cup pattern and modified it to make it almost like that up here, but then have closure in the back. And I made a pillow the shape of a bust cup and filled that with the oak sawdust and stitched it on. So I put this underneath the dresses and press it, and it gives me even a little bit more height. And plus, this was pretty much free. Rather than buying one of those domed bust hams. So I hope you guys like that idea. If you're looking for the white oak is the gold standard, I do have a video, guys. about making your own tailor's hams. But if you're looking for white oak, just go to a custom cabinet shop and they will have a mound of sawdust to give you. And it's so wonderful. So this is another one that I made. And you can tell it's just a different shape. This is more, I use this more for like a butt shape for a larger girl. If she's a smaller girl, you can use this and you can like rotate to get the different angles. You can use this for thigh. You just rotate it for the different angles that you need, okay? Bullet bra back in the 60s. But if it's a larger girl and we need the round bum, I just have this kind of an extra one in my arsenal so that I can press this way. So yeah, that's my, let me just show you. I'll just show you my whole ham collection, girls. There's another one. This one doesn't have the bullet bra point on it. You'll see this. One side is like a canvas or muslin, and this side is your wool. This side is so you don't put shine in the fabric, okay? Here's another sleeve ham. This is a more modern one, Dritz, I think. And let's see. Don't forget, I use this for pressing out my horsehair braid. There's normally a ribbon tied around it. I don't know who took the ribbon off, but you just hold it like this and press your horsehair braid and keep it moving. The dress is hanging from the ceiling, and you just keep moving it and pressing it with this. So, yep, paper towel. That's just handy to be able to hold it. And it does dry back out. Yeah, sometimes it'll get a little wet, and you might have to, if it's a big dress, you might have to, oh goodness, I can't breathe in the fall, guys. I have a really bad mold allergy. Okay, Terry, how would you clean an older ham that smells dusty? I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. I feel like they kind of do smell a little bit dusty, but like, could you just spot clean the outside and steam it and let it dry out and it'd be okay? Maybe try putting it in a tote with some charcoal or baking soda or something after you spot clean it. I don't really know. I do pick these up whenever I go to like a vintage sale. Absolutely. Grab a vintage ham, girls. If you ever see them at a yard sale, get them. But I've never gotten one from like a smoker's house or like a hoarder situation that it smells. The smell could transfer. Yeah. A needleboard. Yeah, Stacy. If you guys find a needleboard, let me show you mine. This was also in a video. If you guys haven't watched my Betty White video, it's the one, if you search rats, her dress was eaten by rats, I think it says, on my channel, you'll see I give instructions on how to make your own needleboard, but this is for pressing velvet. And I show you like all the components, how to make it. This is so that you can steam and press velvet without crushing it and ruining it. So that's another thing. And then this is my clapper. This is also white oak, and this just gives you a crisp seam like nothing else. Nothing else does it like a clapper and a ham. So if you don't have a ham and a clapper in your ironing arsenal yet, you have not reached near your pinnacle in pressing. I promise you. It's amazing the difference. So definitely get a clapper and get what? What are you getting? What are you getting? You're getting bone. Oh, yes, Tracy, the vodka trick. You know what? Guys, Tracy, thank you so much for reminding us of that. The vodka trick is it removes BO. And that's an old theater trick even. They have like a spritz bottle with vodka and they spray the pits down after actors, you know, Broadway, whatever, ballet dancers have sweat out their costume. They spray them down with vodka and somehow it kills that bacteria and it helps with odor. So absolutely, yes. Thank you, Tracy. Stacy, you're exactly right. The needle boards are hundreds of dollars if you can even find them. They're very hard to find. So that's why I thought that video was so helpful of how to make your own needle board. It's really not hard. And I show you step by step. Plus, I show you the restoration of a velvet dress. And honestly, that video is it's also very entertaining and beautiful. And I feel like people who don't even sew or aren't even interested in velvet would watch it if they started watching it. So it's a good watch. So you're going to be looking up Her Dress Was Eaten by Rats on my channel. And don't forget, we're in the rebrand. So you're going to be looking up at Sparkle Sewing from now on, right? Okay, Stacy is saying, Terry, also put it in a bag with cat litter. It'll absorb errant moisture and odors. Good to know. I was thinking more the natural deal with like charcoal or baking soda. But it sounds like, Terry, you are crowdsourcing all kinds of options. That's so amazing and so helpful. And that's the way I love the sewing community to be. Goals, girls. All right, so that's it for today, I think. Terry's saying my clapper is 30 years old. Yeah, they don't die out on us, do they? Darker fabrics have transferred color. Suggestion on how to clean. My guess would be to sand it down. I think if you took a higher grit and just sanded it down, like with a palm sander, and then worked your way down to a finer grit until it was very smooth, that's what I would do, because the dye is probably not very deep in that wood. I wouldn't clean it like in any wet way at all. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, you have a lovely rest of the week. I hope to see you all in the video tomorrow. Comment in tomorrow's video when I do the 1-star fabric shop reviews. And it's a redeeming video, guys. I'm not bashing these places. We're redeeming them because we want to lift each other up, right? So when you watch that video, comment in there that you were on the live stream today so I'll know. So you guys have a lovely rest of the week. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.